Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to talk about balloons. We're going to talk about balloons and flights and concerns that you probably shouldn't have. Right now, I know this is all over the news, and there are a lot of people who are definitely drumming up a lot of worry. You don't need to be worried. There's only one group of people that should be worried about this. Okay, if you've missed the news, right now the United States is tracking a Chinese spy balloon that is floating gracefully over the United States, up in the northern U.S. There are a lot of people who are trying to create a lot of drama with this. This happens all the time. Surveillance flights go over this country daily, multiple times per day. It's not a big deal. One way or another, whether it be something like this, kind of exotic, or a plane, or a satellite. Surveillance flights occur all the time, either right up against our airspace or over our airspace, or whatever. This isn't something to be concerned about in any way, shape, or form. Not just is it not a rarity today, this has been going on a really long time. As we have talked about numerous times on the channel, we are moving into a near-peer contest, a second Cold War. If you want to know what it's going to look like, look to the first one. History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme, and this is definitely carrying the same tune. If you weren't around back then, Google U2 Gary Powers, the letter U, the number 2, and the name Gary Powers. That will show you how long this type of stuff has been happening. And yeah, the U.S. does it too. Every major power does. Undoubtedly, the news that China put up 3 Y-35s, Yugan 35s, check the name, which are a type of spy satellite. They put up 3 of them in November, barely made the news, because it's not really that big of a deal. I know that there will be pundits saying that, well, the balloons are going to be more effective because, they don't have to get through the atmosphere, and it'll be better, more effective. I don't know about that. I mean, the images might be clearer, but I don't know that they would be more effective. Who remembers the movie Patriot Games? Back in the day, Harrison Ford movie. There's a scene in it where the bad guys are all training in the desert, right? And then an alarm on a watch goes off, and they all go inside because that's when the satellite's passing over. If you know it's there, it's not more effective. In fact, it can be a detriment to the country operating it, because you could hypothetically inflate fake vehicles to make it look like numbers are larger than they are. You could move planes from one installation to another to make it appear that they're stationed somewhere that they're not. It makes you vulnerable to a lot of intentional disinformation campaigns. The only people who need to be worried about this are Chinese counterintelligence. Guaranteed, in the last 24 hours, there were conversations between Chinese counterintelligence officers trying to figure out whether or not the U.S. is just engaged in like the ultimate power move, or they have a real problem. Because they've got to figure out why the United States found out about it, looked at it, and was just like, meh. If you are Chinese counterintelligence, you have to wonder why they don't want to study it. The U.S. doesn't want to study it. Why not get it out of the sky and take a look at it? If you are Chinese counterintelligence, there is only one answer. And that's because they already know everything about it. They already know its capabilities. Now, it could just be that the U.S. already knows. Or it could be the U.S. doesn't know, but understands it doesn't really pose a risk, so they're acting like they do, in the hopes of triggering an overreaction within Chinese counterintelligence, which sometimes, in a lot of countries, can lead to that country losing very productive people. Because if they believe there was a leak, they're going to find the source of that leak, even if one never existed. This isn't a concern. It's not a big deal. Happens all the time. It's a slow news week. There's not a lot of new high drama news, so this is getting a lot of coverage. That's really what this is. We're not moving into, we are in a second Cold War now. If you weren't around back then, it would really probably put you at ease to read a lot about it. Overflights like this, standoffs with ships and subs, all of this stuff, it's coming. Make no mistake about it. And in many cases, the media is going to be less than helpful, especially if it occurs in a period when there's not a lot of new drama. Because, they've got to keep those ratings up. There's really nothing to this. Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.